Hello, our Lives channel. Today we will learn about the explosive developments brewing in Salem on Wednesday, September 24th, where a devastating medical emergency threatens to derail multiple lives while sinister schemes reach dangerous new heights. Medical crisis rocks Salem's foundation. The tranquil autumn morning in Salem will be shattered when a shocking medical crisis emerges, sending ripples of fear throughout the community. This health emergency arrives at the worst possible moment, as multiple families are already grappling with life-altering decisions and dangerous secrets that could destroy their carefully constructed worlds. The timing couldn't be more catastrophic, especially as Sophia Choi continues orchestrating her most destructive plan yet, one that threatens to tear apart the dreams of those she despises most. The medical situation will create a domino effect of consequences that no one in Salem could have anticipated, forcing beloved residents to confront their deepest fears while navigating through unprecedented chaos. Emergency responders will be stretched to their limits as they race against time to prevent what could become Salem's most devastating tragedy in recent memory. Sophia's vengeful master plan intensifies. Sophia Choi's relentless campaign of destruction reaches a terrifying new level as she prepares to execute the most malicious phase of her revenge plot against Johnny DiMera and Chanel Dupree DiMera. Her obsession with destroying their happiness has transformed into an all-consuming mission that threatens to corrupt everything she touches, including innocent bystanders who become collateral damage in her twisted game. The calculating young woman has spent weeks carefully studying Johnny and Chanel's vulnerabilities, identifying precisely where to strike for maximum psychological devastation. Her upcoming meeting with District Attorney Melinda Trask represents the culmination of months of careful planning, during which she will present carefully fabricated evidence designed to paint the loving couple as unfit parents. Sophia's manipulation tactics have become increasingly sophisticated, as she learned to exploit the legal system's inherent biases and bureaucratic weaknesses to achieve her vengeful goals. What makes Sophia's scheme particularly insidious is her willingness to destroy an innocent child's future happiness simply to satisfy her personal vendetta. Baby Tesoro, who represents hope and new beginnings for Johnny and Chanel, has become an unwitting pawn in Sophia's elaborate chess game of revenge. The depth of her cruelty becomes apparent when considering how she's prepared to sacrifice a child's welfare to inflict maximum emotional damage on her targets. Johnny and Chanel's adoption dreams under siege. The devoted couple remains blissfully unaware of the storm clouds gathering around their carefully planned future as parents. Johnny and Chanel have invested their entire emotional energy into welcoming baby Tesoro into their family, spending countless hours preparing their home and hearts for this life-changing moment. Their genuine love for each other and eagerness to provide a nurturing environment for Tesoro makes them particularly vulnerable to Sophia's calculated attacks. Their adoption journey has already been fraught with challenges, from bureaucratic red tape to invasive background checks that scrutinized every aspect of their relationship. Despite these obstacles, their unwavering commitment to building a family together has only grown stronger, making the impending sabotage even more heartbreaking. The couple's optimistic discussions about their future parenting roles and dreams for Tesoro's upbringing reveal the depth of their emotional investment in this adoption. Chanel's past struggles with fertility issues have made this adoption opportunity feel like a miraculous second chance at motherhood, while Johnny sees it as his opportunity to break the cycle of dysfunction that has plagued the DiMera family for generations. Their shared vision of providing Tesoro with stability, love, and security represents everything Sophia seeks to destroy through her vindictive interference. Stephanie's terrifying stalker situation escalates. Dr. Kayla Johnson's maternal instincts immediately detect the subtle signs of distress in her daughter Stephanie, recognizing the telltale markers of someone living in constant fear. Stephanie's nervous energy and hypervigilant behavior haven't gone unnoticed by her perceptive mother, who understands that her daughter's anxiety stems from something far more dangerous than typical work-related stress. The mysterious packages Stephanie has been receiving represent only the beginning of a terrifying campaign of psychological warfare orchestrated by her abusive ex-boyfriend Jeremy Horton. Jeremy's return to Salem has been months in the making, as he carefully studied Stephanie's published book to decode references to their troubled past relationship. His obsessive analysis of her writing revealed intimate details that only he would recognize, confirming his suspicions about her identity as the mysterious author. Stephanie's decision to include passages about Jeremy in her book has inadvertently provided him with a roadmap back into her life. The psychological trauma from their previous relationship, particularly the incident where he nearly drowned her in a hot tub, continues to haunt her daily existence. Her hypervigilant behavior and constant feeling of being watched stems from her subconscious recognition that Jeremy has already begun his stalking campaign. The upcoming power outage will create the perfect cover for Jeremy to escalate his harassment tactics, using the darkness and chaos to get closer to Stephanie than ever before. His intimate knowledge of her fears and triggers, combined with his history of violent behavior, makes him an exceptionally dangerous threat to her safety and mental health. Salem's devastating power outage creates chaos. The massive electrical failure that plunges Salem into complete darkness will occur at the most inopportune moment possible, amplifying existing tensions and creating new opportunities for dangerous individuals to operate undetected. This isn't merely an inconvenient blackout. It's a catastrophic infrastructure failure that will leave residents trapped, vulnerable, and completely cut off from emergency services when they need help most. The timing of this power grid collapse couldn't be more sinister, as it provides perfect cover for various villains to execute their most dangerous schemes under the protection of darkness. Stephanie will find herself completely defenseless against Jeremy's stalking tactics, while emergency responders struggle to maintain order in a city suddenly thrown back to pre-electric times. The psychological impact of the darkness will be particularly devastating for trauma survivors like Stephanie, whose PTSD symptoms will be severely triggered by the helpless situation. Melinda Trask's crucial meeting with Sophia. District Attorney Melinda Trask's scheduled encounter with Sophia Choi represents a pivotal moment that could permanently alter multiple family structures in Salem. Melinda's initial impression of Sophia as a concerned young woman seeking justice will quickly evolve as she recognizes the calculating manipulation behind Sophia's carefully rehearsed presentation. This meeting has been orchestrated by Sophia as her masterstroke against Johnny and Chanel's adoption hopes. Sophia's preparation for this encounter has been meticulous, involving forged documents, manipulated photographs, and carefully crafted testimonials designed to paint Johnny and Chanel as dangerously irresponsible potential parents. Her presentation will include fabricated evidence of Johnny's alleged inappropriate behavior with students and Chanel's supposed financial instability. The sophistication of her deception demonstrates how her obsession has transformed her into a genuinely dangerous individual capable of destroying innocent lives. Paulina's business ambitions for Theo. Paulina Price's enthusiastic encouragement for Theo Carver to accept Tony DiMera's business proposal stems from her genuine desire to see her stepson establish permanent roots in Salem. Her maternal instincts recognize that Theo needs professional purpose and community connection to truly thrive in his adult life. However, her well-intentioned pushing may inadvertently thrust Theo into the center of DiMera Enterprises' most treacherous corporate battlefield. Tony DiMera's strategic recruitment of Theo represents more than simple nepotism. It's a calculated move designed to consolidate power and eliminate potential rivals like Gabby Hernandez from key positions within the company. Theo's acceptance of this role would place him in direct conflict with established power structures, potentially making him a target for corporate sabotage and personal vendettas. Paulina's enthusiasm blinds her to the dangerous political implications of inserting Theo into this volatile situation. Julie's heroic response to Foster's emergency. Julie Williams' immediate recognition of Foster's critical medical condition demonstrates her decades of experience dealing with health crises within the Salem community. Her quick thinking and decisive action to ensure Foster receives proper medical attention from Dr. Kayla Johnson could be the difference between life and death. This medical emergency will test not only Foster's physical resilience, but also the strength of the relationships he's built during his time in Salem. The severity of Foster's condition extends beyond simple headache symptoms. suggesting a potentially life-threatening neurological event that requires immediate intervention. Julie's insistence on comprehensive medical evaluation reveals her intuitive understanding that seemingly minor symptoms can mask catastrophic underlying conditions. Her advocacy for foster care exemplifies the community spirit that makes Salem residents willing to fight for each other's well-being, even when facing their own personal crises. The convergence of these multiple storylines on September 24th creates a perfect storm of drama, danger, and emotional intensity that will leave Salem's residents forever changed by the day's devastating events. Part 2. Maggie declares war, EJ plots the return of the Hortons, and Salem faces another day of tension. Welcome back, dear friends, to another dramatic chapter of Days of Our Lives. The town of Salem never knows peace for long, and on this Tuesday, September 24th, 2025, lives intertwine, loyalties are tested, and long-buried tensions threaten to erupt into open conflict. If you thought yesterday's revelations were intense, today's episode takes things to an entirely new level. Maggie stands firm and declares war. For years, Maggie has been known as the woman who keeps her family together through storms, heartbreak, and betrayal. But today, the patience and quiet resilience that once defined her reach a breaking point. After watching Titan become entangled in dangerous rivalries, and after enduring too many backroom deals that placed her loved ones at risk, Maggie finally decides she can no longer sit quietly on the sidelines. She walks into the fray with her head held high, and for the first time in a long time, she makes it clear. This is no longer a polite disagreement or a mere business dispute. This is war. Her words echo like a thunderclap across Salem, rattling the foundations of both Titan and DMera enterprises. For Maggie, this is not about pride or power. It is about protecting her family's legacy and ensuring that their name stands for more than deception and betrayal. Tony, who has always been smooth in his negotiations, is stunned by Maggie's sudden shift in tone. He has seen her fiery spirit before, but never has he been on the receiving end of such unwavering determination. With every word, Maggie signals that she is ready to fight with every ounce of her strength. And Tony is forced to realize that this battle is no longer a game he can charm his way through. EJ's bold vision, bringing the Hortons back. While Maggie makes her move, EJ works behind the scenes, carefully plotting his own. EJ has always been a strategist, a man who can play a long game with meticulous patience. Today, he begins laying the groundwork for his next bold step, one that could shake Salem to its core. His plan? To bring the Hortons back to town. The Horton family has long been the backbone of Salem, its moral compass and source of stability. Their absence has left a void, both emotionally and practically, and EJ sees an opportunity. By rallying the Hortons, he hopes not only to strengthen his own position, but also to present himself as a man capable of restoring balance to a town that has been teetering on the edge of chaos. Of course, EJ's motives are layered. While he speaks of family, tradition, and honor, one cannot forget that he is a DMera, and every move he makes is calculated. Is he truly seeking to rebuild the heart of Salem, or is he using the Hortons as pawns in a much larger scheme? Only time will tell. Chad and Kat. A private conversation about the future. Meanwhile, at a quieter corner of town, Chad finds himself in a moment of unexpected honesty. His encounter with Kat begins simply enough. A conversation outside the bar about her brother Mark's parole. Kat is grateful that Chad has not spoken ill of Mark, despite the shadows that follow her brother's name. In her gratitude, she sees something different in Chad. A kindness and integrity that not everyone in Salem chooses to show. Chad, in turn, surprises even himself. Instead of brushing her off, he invites her back to his house to continue their conversation. What begins as a polite chat soon transforms into something far more meaningful. Sitting together, Kat visibly nervous, Chad takes the lead and reassures her. His words are gentle but firm. He does not want to hide what is happening between them anymore. Though he is not yet ready to broadcast it to the entire town with flashing headlines or a press release, Chad suggests they begin by admitting, at least to those close to them, that they are more than friends. His honesty catches Kat off guard, but it also eases the tension in her shoulders. For the first time in a while, she allows herself to smile. Their budding romance takes a tender turn when Chad leans in for a kiss. For a brief moment, the chaos of Salem fades away, and the two share a fragile but meaningful connection. A call that changes everything. Just as the air between them grows warmer, the moment is interrupted by Kat's phone ringing. The call is about her brother, Mark. After weeks of waiting, uncertainty, and worry, the parole board has finally made a decision. Mark's application has been approved. The news hits Kat like a bolt of lightning. Relief floods her expression, mingled with a rush of anxiety. While approval is a victory, no release date has yet been set. The uncertainty of when and how Mark will re-enter their lives hangs heavily in the air. For Kat, this means preparing for change. Change that could either heal old wounds or open new ones. For Chad, it means stepping into unfamiliar territory, supporting someone he cares about while navigating the return of a man whose reputation casts long shadows. Brady's visit, reflections on fatherhood and war. Elsewhere in Salem, Brady finds Chad at the bar earlier in the day. Their conversation begins lightly, but soon turns to matters that weigh heavily on both men's hearts. They talk about Rachel, about the joys and struggles of fatherhood, and about the war brewing between Titan and Demera. Neither man wants to be dragged into this corporate feud. Both know the cost of such battles all too well. The betrayals, the sleepless nights, the way wars like this consume families from the inside out. Yet despite their reluctance, the storm around them is growing, and they both realize it may be impossible to stay on the sidelines forever. Brady's visit serves as a reminder of what truly matters. Not titles, not empires, but children and family. His words linger with Chad even as the day unfolds, coloring the choices Chad makes later with Kat. Salem stands on the brink. As the sun sets on this turbulent day in Salem, the picture becomes clear. War is no longer a distant possibility. It is here, breathing down the necks of the people who call this town home. Maggie has drawn her line in the sand. EJ is maneuvering the chessboard. Brady and Chad are torn between loyalty to their families and the desire to stay clear of the conflict. And Kat's world has been turned upside down by news of her brother's parole. Every thread of today's story is tied together by one truth. The past is never truly buried in Salem. Old grudges, deep loyalties, and dangerous ambitions always rise again. And with every passing day, the choices made by its citizens will determine whether the town finds peace or plunges deeper into chaos.